Tonight it is rainy, but it's still kind of like a little too warm for my liking, but I still see the rain and I need like comforty food. I'm gonna make French bread pizza, but garlic bread, French bread pizza. I was in the store the other day and I saw in the freezer section those French bread frozen things that you can buy. I don't remember who makes them. You know what I'm talking about. Those. I always remember whenever I had one of those though, it was like you couldn't cook them right. Whatever you did, the outside was fine, but then the inside was still like frozen solid. It never tasted that great because freezer food. So I'm gonna make it fresh and I'm gonna make it with garlic bread instead of sauce pizza. Garlic bread pizza. And this takes like no time at all. So I'm excited. Let's get going. First, the base is the garlic bread. Into a little bowl here, I'm gonna put some room temperature butter and a bunch of garlic that I just chopped up, some salt and some pepper. This is a good mix around and just incorporate all of that garlic in that butter. Garlic butter. French bread. This is a gorgeous, delicious looking hunk of French bread. You want the loaves that look like baguettes on steroids or something. Gonna cut off my snack for later. What do you call this part of the bread? We always call it a knuch in my family, but I feel like, do people call this the heel, or is it the butt or the end? I don't know what it is, but it's the knuch. Cut you in half. To the best of my ability. I'm horrible at cutting these things in half. There you go, did pretty good. All you have to do is just slather this butter on here. Edge to edge, you want all of this covered. And this is why it's very important to have room temperature butter. You can only imagine the ripping of this bread that I would do if this was like hard cold butter. These are a lined baking dish. And I have my oven set to a broil, and I'm just going to watch it very carefully and let this kind of go. I want this to cook semi. I don't want it to cook all the way and get very crunchy. I just want to get the butter melting and I want the garlic to start to cook. So watch it. You don't want everything to crunch up right away. Now to get all of my stuff ready for on top of the pizza, I am very simple. I'm going cheese and pepperoni today. When I make like a pepperoni pizza, I like to fry off the pepperoni a little bit beforehand just to get some of the grease out so it's not all on my pizza. So that's what I've done to these, and plus they get a little extra crispy, which I love. Cheese. Got some mozzarella here. I probably should have gotten like a drier mozzarella, but what are you gonna do? I'm gonna start to shred some of this if I can figure out how to get it open. There we go. Just shred it up. I put this cheese in the freezer just for a little bit to try to get it a little more firm for the shredder, since this is very soft cheese. It's always my favorite part of shredding cheese, lifting up the grater and just having it all fall out. Looks good to me. Just want to throw some fresh basil on there. It's going to start to be really aromatic once it hits the heat of the pizza. So I'm just taking a couple leaves, stack them up, roll them up like a little cigar. Give them a little chiffonade. Basil ribbons. My little French breads are where I want them. Just starting to brown on the sides, but the garlic is starting to crisp up and it's still super soft, which is perfection. I switched my oven to 400 from broil, and now we can assemble. Of course, you can put sauce on these if that's what you want to do. I am not a sauce girly right now, so I'm going straight up cheese, and try to cover the sides of the bread so that it doesn't brown as much on the sides, even more than it already is. I like to protect the sides because they are the first place to get hit, as you can see. I don't know if this is like a regional thing, but do you put the toppings on and then the cheese? Or do you put the cheese and then the toppings? I'm always a cheese and then the toppings, but I have seen where people put toppings underneath the cheese, and I'm just not sure. My mom does that sometimes and I am puzzled by it. But I understand, you know, like the cheese keeps the toppings in, but don't you want the toppings to get cooked and crunchy? I don't know. Little peps. Throw them back in the oven until the cheese is melted and everything is just all together, and it shouldn't take more than a few minutes. Look at that. These look unbelievable. They smell insane. Right when they come out, hit them with a little bit of that fresh basil and a little flaky salt and a little bit of pepper. Gorgeous. Here's a little bit of an overview. Oh yes. And look how crunchy those pepperonis are. And they aren't full of grease. There's a little bit, but it's much less than if I had just put those in like straight from the fridge. I gave these a little slice up so that I wouldn't have to, you know, handle the whole thing. But look at my cute little slice of French bread, garlic bread pizza. French bread pizza garlic bread edition. French bread garlic bread pizza. Whatever. Oh yeah. This is without a doubt 10 times better than those frozen pucks that you buy at the grocery store. That crunch. This is it. It's so garlicky and buttery. And cheesy. If you are ever just like hanging out on a lazy Sunday like this, these are so easy, so customizable. Just think of pizza night, but on bread. And you can put anything on these things. What more could you ask for? You gotta make them. Enjoy.